couple months ago, I beat Dark Souls 3 after setting all of my stats to 0, and it was truly an experience of all time. I didn't beat every boss though, and had to give up on Oceiros, which in turn locked me out of Champion Gundyr and Nameless King. But now, backed by popular demand, I'm here to finish the job. I said I was going to do the DLC as well, but that won't be today, and I might get around to it in the future. I just want to get the rest of the base game out before I get too distracted by other things. So now without further ado, here is part 2 of beating DS3 at level -89. After resetting the death counter and putting all my rings on, I make my first attempt at Oceiros. Okay. That right there should give you a strong indicator on how the rest of this is going to play out. I get used to the fight pretty quick though, and I make it to phase 2 practically every single time. But when I get to phase 2, there's one singular move that took me out virtually every single time, and it's the charge attack. If you're familiar with this boss, then you already know how absolutely busted and jank this move is. If you're not familiar, let me demonstrate. Like, okay, how does that actually do damage? Bro, like, what is that? That is crazy. This move is lightning fast, and the only indication that he's about to do it is that you'll hear a baby let out a little cry before he does it, which is brand new information to me as I'm editing this. I never heard it while fighting him, but looking back through the footage, it's definitely there. Except sometimes he charges without the baby crying, and sometimes the baby cries and he doesn't charge. So I really don't know what his deal is. After a whole lot of dying and a little bit of luck, I get him dealt with.
Don't be afraid. You were born a child of dragons. What could you possibly fear? Now.
I'm about to crash out, bro. How does that miss? Certainly can't get any harder, can it? Champ wasn't too hard all in all. Aside from getting nicked by a few stray hits here and there, what mostly got me was just messing up the parry timing. It was easy enough once I got that down, because fighting Champ is just a parry simulator. I'm learning. Getting a little scared now. Is it over? Let's go, dude. It wasn't even that bad. Kept messing up on the easiest stuff. Since Ancient Wyvern is more of a cinematic boss fight and not a real boss fight, it's usually not worth discussing. However, with the constraints I was under, it ended up taking a lot more time to deal with them than I hoped for. With the amount of HP that I had, every attack was a one-shot, but if I sacrificed my ability to light roll and put some armor on, I could take a singular hit. Since there were so many enemies, half of which chuck fireballs at you from a distance or have weapons they extend to hit you with, this was a borderline necessity. The lack of stamina was also a big issue, as I couldn't really run too far before I was out. The worst thing that happened, though, was that I would finally make it through the gauntlet, only to screw it up at the finish line. Multiple times. Get up the ladder, bro, please. Ladder iframes for the win. I hate myself. What? Please let me do it, please. Yes. This fucking game. Okay. Thank God, bro. If I mess it up one more time, it was gonna be Jover. Phase 1 of Nameless was easy enough to get down. The Storm Ruler has some pretty good range on it, which let me smack the dragon's head easily enough. Now if I managed to keep up aggression, I could actually get him staggered and get a visceral off. Once Phase 1 was solved, the real problem comes into play with Phase 2. Nameless by himself is incredibly fast and aggressive, and the Storm Ruler made me painfully slow in comparison. The Storm Ruler just wouldn't cut it, so I had to get a little creative. By wearing the Knight's Ring, the Hunter's Ring, and the Karthus Milk Ring, I had just enough of a stat boost to either use the Handmaid's Dagger or the Caestus. To get the dagger, I would have had to farm because it's only dropped by the Jailer Maidens and has a measly drop rate of 4%. The stats are also slightly worse than the Caestus, so I decided to go with the Caestus. I then infused them with fire, as Nameless is weak to fire in second phase. The weapon really suffers in the range department though, and it had quite a difficult time being able to hit the dragon in the first phase. So the strat I had was to use Storm Ruler in phase 1, and then switch to the Caestus for phase 2. Is this it? Holy crap, dude. That was a struggle and a half, I'll tell you that much. It's a good thing I don't have to deal with him again anytime soon. What the